Hello and welcome to Mama's Pearls. I am Cynthia, and this week on Mama's Pearls we're talking about love. The topic is love child, and the pearl of the week is children are love. Children are born into this world just completely open and ready to receive love. That is just the language that they speak. It's the language that they're fluent in, and it's truly the only language that they understand. Sometime along the way, you're not really quite sure where, we turn ourselves off. And once that's turned off, it's hard to turn it back on because there's a distrust that happens. It's kind of like when you go through a bad breakup and you thought you're so in love and all this kind of stuff, and then something happens that hurts you and you never fully quite recover. And even though you can go back to loving people, you might be a little bit on guard or just a little bit more hesitant to completely opening yourself up to love. When we kind of unshackle from whatever it is, that pain, that hurt, that wound, when we kind of heal from that and go through what may be attachments that we've had in our past, and we talked about that in the last couple of weeks on Mama's Pearls, when we get to that point where we can kind of deal with it, accept it, incorporate it, bless it, forgive it, whatever it is we need to do to heal and ready to move on from it, we get to step back to another place of love. Last week when we were talking with Natalie Berthold on the Family Pact, we were talking about how to rearrange our family circle so we can get to those healthy patterns. We can take things and shift them around and work with that energy and finally acknowledge it and release it and turn it back into love. So when you get to that space and you are with your children, that's a beautiful space to be in. That's where you kind of go, oh yeah, there you are. And I see parents all the time. I have parents and friends who completely adore and love their children, and we all love our children. But there's a difference between loving your children and really appreciating them, really being present in the moment with them, kind of going back and seeing their world through their eyes, through the eyes of a child, through the eyes of love, being a little bit too parents kind of get where it's not so nice and it's a little bit to the clock and a little to the waiting and scheduled and little on them about you can't do this, you can't do that. And honestly, guys, that's not so nice. Think about if that was your parents, and maybe it was your parents and that's why you're repeating it, but think how you would like that, how you would respond. Would you respond back from a place of love, or would you respond back from a place of kind of being pissed? And so we can't blame our children for the patterns that they pick up and learn from, because they're learning from us all the time. Are you always going to be in a state of love with your kids and always going to be super sweet and awesome? No, of course not. Nobody's asking that. But stopping yourself every once in a while and getting back to that space of love with them is key. And I fully believe that we can expand our conversation with love with our kids and getting into a new state of not just saying I love you, but being in that moment with your child and fully expressing yourselves to them and understanding what it is to have love and to be loved.
And gems!
We are talking to New York Times bestselling author Laura Duxa, who has 2 children's books out. The first one is I Love You More, which is so awesome and completely helped expand the conversation of love in my family. Just the title alone you could have so much fun with your kids. Every time they say I love you, say I love you more. And vice versa, they'll start doing the same thing. The second book is You Are a Gift to the World, and the world is a gift to you. What's kind of cool about Laura's books, which are different than most books, is that they're flip books. So you start reading the story this way, and this is the mother telling the story to the son, and then when you flip it, you start telling a different story. Very similar in theme, still about I love you, but now it's from the son to the mother. And the same thing with this one, except in this one it's 2 different daddies and daughters Daddies and Daughters. So, and you can see I have this tabs because I've been reading it, and there's some passages in here which are just so completely beautiful. Same with the first one too, but this one I kind of know by heart already. And this one, You Are the Gift to the World and the World is Gift to You, is her new book that she's out through Source Books, and it's just such a beautiful book. And both of these books can really just help guide you and your family into having deeper conversations, for one thing, because most of them are geared really towards just natural events and nature, and you can kind of pick up on that in your own adventures with your kids and take off from there and kind of create your own dialogue with them. And your kids are going to love it. They're so much fun. And I just completely adore her. I've known her for quite some time now, and she's such an empowering, just an empowering person, an inspiring person, and really just magnifies everyone around her. Her website is www.lauraduxta.com, and she's also available for speaking engagements. So I had a really beautiful time speaking with her on the Mama's Pearls radio show. I suggest that you all check that out and have a listen, because it's conversation. Just awesome. So start having your conversations with love. Start explaining and expressing to children, even though you might tell them all the time you're our greatest gifts. Why? Why is that? Start pointing it out to them. I love you because your smile is so bright. I love you because you have so much joy in your heart. I love you because you're so caring. Did you see what you just did, honey? Do you realize how special that was? And I'm telling you, once you start that conversation of love with them, you're going to see them just kind of magnify and start beaming, and you're going to start feeling so much lighter with yourself and also with your children, and it's just going to be beautiful. So we'll start there and we'll see how it goes. You can always give me a buzz. I'm at Cynthia@mamaspearls.com. I'm on Twitter at CynTweet, as well as on Facebook, which is on Mama's Pearls. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Fill every single moment with love.